was the philosophy of the teachings of Islam.
Start? Or you have to finish this? Please continue.
One of these books was the philosophy of the teachings of Islam, copies of which are widely available in over 60 languages. The distinctive feature of Ahmadiyyat, the true Islam, is the rationality of its teachings. Our beliefs are far removed from any kind of legend, myth, or superstition. The promised Messiah threw a challenge to the world to try and find fault with any teaching of Islam, assuring them that he could prove that every single precept was based on the facts of unchangeable human nature and rationality. This question and answer session gives you the opportunity to put our beliefs and teachings to the test of logic and rationality. The fourth Khalifa or successor to the promised Messiah is the present head of the movement, Hadhrat Mirza Tahir Ahmed, who was elected to office in 1982. He was born in Qadian, India in 1928 and was educated in India, Pakistan and the United Kingdom. He has a deep understanding of religion and has written many books in Urdu and some in English. His recent English book, Revelation, Rationality, Knowledge and Truth, is an epic publication which answers many questions troubling people today. His dynamic leadership has carried the community forward in leaps and bounds. He has launched several social projects to help poor countries in Africa, and under his personal supervision and guidance, the movement has translated the Holy Quran in more than 50 major languages of the world. Today, we see an ironic spectacle of the highest progress in science and technology on the one side and the rapid deterioration of moral and spiritual values on the other. This rift is widening daily, particularly in the West, and if it is not drastically narrowed and eliminated, it would bring about a universal disaster which might well end civilization as we know it. Belief in the possibility of communion with God, which is the very essence of spiritual life, has all but disappeared. Today, it is the Ahmadiyya movement in Islam which furnishes practical illustration of the truth of its claims. It is only through the experience of such a living relationship with God, where God actually speaks to his creatures, that a person can arrive at absolute certainty of faith in the divine, which can work the needed moral and spiritual revolution in the life of man. This is the challenge that the Ahmadiyya movement in Islam presents to the world. It is the challenge of a resurgent and invigorated Islam. Thank you.
All the formalities have been completed. Now we enter straight away into question and answer session, please.
Yes. The first question is from Bashir Ahmad Sumali, who is from Mauritius and a Muslim. What can you say to a non-Ahmadi who does not share some of your fundamental beliefs but is in tune with the good work you are doing?
I can't think of any non-Ahmadi who does not find us share his fundamental beliefs, because the fundamental beliefs we have are belief in the Holy Quran and the belief in the word of the Holy Prophet and the belief that both will never be cancelled till the day of resurrection. And as such, all the fundamentals which originate from these two sources are fully shared by us. So I don't think this question is valid as far as that goes. Please.
The next questioner are Ben and Hanif Muhammad Ali. They are Mauritians. They asked...
Both have asked the same question together? Huh? Father and son. Okay.
There are two questions. Why are the Middle Eastern Arab countries not helping in the Kosovo conflict, as most of the victims are Muslim?
This question should be addressed to them, not to me. There's no reason why they shouldn't. They call themselves champions of Muslim cause, and here is the challenge for them. There you are with the Muslim cause, and they are abstaining from helping them as much as one would require them to do.
The next question is, how does the traditional Islamic faith, culture and belief keep pace with modernism, technological progress in the Western world?
Who asked this question?
The same.
The same, right. This is a good question, of course, in the sense that Islam, if it's true, and as we know it is true, and Islam, if it is everlasting, as we know it is, should have answers to the most modern questions raised by science and technology and other scientific achievements of the age. And this is exactly what has been attempted by me repeatedly in my discourses, question and answer sessions, as well as in the book which has just been mentioned. So if you are truly interested in finding the answers to these questions, so that you are fully satisfied with the Holy Quran and its teachings to be, for all times, a book which can never be left behind in time. So you better have recourse to this book and study it as best as you can. Thank you.
Mr. Johan Savage, or Johan Savage, who's 14. He asked two questions.
Yes.
Firstly, do you consider the laws to combat racism or sexism as adequate?
Which laws? You're talking of the British laws? Is it right?
Yes.
Well, they're trying to improve their laws, but they also find resistance from the other side. So it's a mutual conflict going on for so many times, and I hope they will succeed in achieving their objective, because it is a noble objective, but there is no end to this tug of war as far as I can see.
The second question is, how do you feel about the India-Pakistan conflict over Kashmir, and can it be resolved peacefully before nuclear weapons are used?
I think this question is not asked in the right forum. I am here to answer questions regarding the religious aspects of the world and the scientific aspects which are universal. I don't want to be involved in a struggle which is regional between two countries to which I belong. I belong to India as well as to Pakistan. So it will not be fair of me to pass my judgment in favor of one or the other. All I can advise is that they should keep justice above everything else. If they both stick to justice and truth, the problem can be resolved. But unfortunately, neither pays attention to being just in the absolute value of the justice and being truthful as they should be. In defending their causes, they both lie, which is not fair. So that is the only advice which I can render, and no more.
Mr. Robert Turnbull, who is a Muslim and married to a Mauritian Ahmadi.
Yes, please.
He asked